After a lot of days of thinking, I finally successfully made it my top 10 plans of 2023. And I've been debating if I should name this video like this, Top Plans of 2023, or if it would be better to name it my top houseplants that entered 2024 in full force, because I believe that we should be expecting a lot of great growth updates from these plants. And the funny story about that is that almost all of these plants weren't doing nearly as good as some others during the 2023, except the last month, December, where most of the growth and the changes happened. And that's weird because December is winter here, and this kind of changes should happen in spring. So I'm really excited. Some of them you might be expecting to hear about them, but some others might be a full surprise. So stick till the end, and I want to know if you have some of these plants too, or maybe what is your best growing kind of plant right now. So let's get started with my ultimate love this time of the year, and it is just right here, the Alocasia Jacqueline. This thing, okay, I got it like December, okay. I didn't have it the full 2023 year, just the last month as a Christmas present for me, but this is the new leaf that she got while adopted by me. Now this here has some normal soil mix. Oopsie. At first I was thinking of replanting it in pon or leca or something, but the thing is that I didn't want to touch her since she has been growing this new leaf. I have her here at this glass container, and I've got also some roots growing down at the reservoir. Another idea of mine was to actually turn this pot into a self-watering pot, like putting a cord or something so it can drive the water up. I've been keeping her wet, mostly moist. I don't really wait for her to dry completely before watering. I'm afraid of the Alocasia family. If they get dry, I assume that they are already dead, so I've been keeping her like a fern. And it seems like it is working, and I really love this leaf here. I mean, this must be my biggest obsession for 4 years now plus. I love the veins, I love the texture, the branches, the stems, how to call them. They look like the Zebrina one, but the leaves win this fight for me. I am in love. I'm the proudest. She looks stunning. The next one, it's right here, is the Anthurium. Now, this has, I think, the greatest story of a survivor, we might say, because when I got this, if you've seen the unboxing video, I was surprised, but in a bad way, because the soap had actually cutted the main stem and it was rotting. I thought that this would be dead. I was glad that it had these babies around the base here and that I would save them. No. Fast forward some days, I kind of decided to just trim the rotting part, put cinnamon to it, and dry it up so it would stop the rotting. And when I removed it, the rotting part, I saw that it was actually creating a new leaf. This must have been the best New Year gift ever, because I really expected that it would die, and it did not. We have this leaf. Now, this leaf is kind of small compared to the other ones. It's still growing. We should wait and see how it grows. I will provide the best care I can to this little beauty, and I hope that we can expect a lot of great things and a lot of new leaves. This is also my first anthurium. Some time ago, I wasn't that sure if I liked anthuriums. I mean, I saw my grandma have a whole collection of them, and I was wondering what in the world do you find in these plants? I mean, they are not something special, are they? And suddenly it hit me, and I wanted to buy one. And this one was the one that I found to be available at the store, so I ordered it, and now I'm in love with it, and we might see me buying more anthuriums in the future. I mean, I would really love to add 2 or 3 of them in my collection. They seem really, really rewarding plants if you take care of them right. I've also been thinking of maybe separating the babies and transplanting them in soil or pond. I would love to hear your suggestions about this, if it is a good move or maybe we should wait a little longer for this. But yes, this was the second plant. Now for the third plant, I have to go and get it, and it's big. This plant here has been in the family for a lot of time now. This is a gift from my mother, and to be honest, I've actually failed to take care of it properly. What I mean by this, last summer, I've actually left it outside and it got scorched by the sun. Our garden doesn't get the morning sun, but it gets afternoon sun. And it is hot, like crazy. It will burn anything. And I've put it outside in the pond to water it, then hang it to just, drain it. And there was the fatal moment that I forgot about it. Now, if you have a plant that is a gift, a kind reminder is to not forget about it, because, well, then you will regret it. This plant is showing so much growth. I mean, I don't know, it might be the time to repot it, but I have no way of removing it from this pot. And I've been actually cutting some pieces here and there to propagate it. They are inside the terrariums. They look like they are still alive, but yes, this is still growing and creating new leaves throughout the whole pot. And at some point I will remove all these. Oh god, I got these spores. It had some spores here and I kind of got them on my fingers. Well, at some point I'll be removing the kind of burned leftover leaves. I guess that's it. I've been watering it in the pond, submerging it. You might have seen my source. This fern absolutely loves it, and the goldfish don't seem to get a lot of interest in this, so I can leave her even for the whole night and she will be still alive the next morning. I remove it, drain it, and there she goes, growing like crazy. No fertilizers on this thing, just the water of the pond, and it's looking great. Now that we have winter, I was actually afraid of the snow that we still don't have here, and I'm so furious about that because I really love snow, but we get it not. Anyway, I got her inside here at the room, so it will be fully protected in case of a magical snow. Let's move on. So the next plant on the list is actually here, and it is the Cebu Blue that is growing like crazy. Now, 1 year back, this plant is actually growing for like 1.5 years straight, producing new leaves every single week. And I'm not sure why, because before the whole growth started happening, this plant was actually losing a lot of her leaves. I mean, it was going bald. And we didn't change anything, just the place that we had her. At first, we had her in another room in front of the window, and it was doing really, really bad. She was yellowing all over and losing the leaves. It was really bad. And then my sister told me, can we save it? And we decided to change it position. And then I started watering it even more, but this time with the pond water. Before it had normal or pond water with fertilizer, then I started submerging it in the pond with my other plants. I think that this was the turning point of her. She is the truly winner of the 2023 year. I should admit that. We even have smaller fenestrations near the normal fenestrations, and it's so great because I've been cutting and propagating it. Now it was living at the window here, and I kind of changed plans about her. She will be here for a long time because I really love the way that she looks with this aquarium, Tetra aquarium. She's stunning. She looks the best. If I could clone only one plant, I mean the whole form of it, and gift it to everyone, this would be it. This would be it. The best growth ever. I think that I've also mentioned her in my previous video, hanging or growth, top growth plants. I think she was in the hanging plants, but trailing hanging plants, but she's a princess for sure. And now we can go to number 5 and let me get it. Another plant that I've actually mentioned in my top growing, fast growing plants, the Monstera siltepecana. Look at this thing here. Now, she looks great. And she had a spider, but I've been lying to you, like 2 weeks ago, I changed her whole setup. I removed it from the normal pot with soil, placed her here, and I really wanted to show you this. Sorry about the light. Now, false bottom with leca, then some of coal and zeolite, then some sphagnum moss, and then the soil with her in. I've also put it a string from the bottom up, so it will drive the water all around the root ball. And she has actually been loving it. I've also added some of the propagations that I've had from here because I want a fuller look. Now, sometime later, I am also going to maybe trim this and propagate it and then plant it here too. So far so good, she's growing great. She is the fastest growing plant in the whole collection. She's a star. Silty Pecana is really worth buying. If you do not own one yet, well, if you happen to find it, just buy it. You will remember me. This is the best plant if you like to gift out propagations and propagate a lot. If you have a lot of empty propagating vases and glasses, bottles, whatever, this will sure fill them up because you can't keep up with the growth. Next one, and seems like Boba is really excited about this. Are you? Well, is this Ficus siveriana, I think. Well, variegated ficus. And I was not actually sure if I love ficus plants. My mother has a lot of them, huge plants, but I didn't know. I was kind of afraid of getting one in here because of the whole light situation. I know that ficus for sure needs a lot of bright light, and I was not sure if it will live here. But the thing is that I couldn't really resist this beauty. When I saw that it was available in the shop, I went crazy and I was like, I am going to buy this plant, no matter what, because I'm obsessed with all the mojito kind of patterns and variegations. I'm in love with this one. Now, when I got this plant, this leaf is actually broken. It had only one tiny piece holding it together, moving all the nutrients around. So what I did was take some clear tape and tape it in place. It's still looking really good, although it's broken. If you can see it here, this leaf is completely broken. But the clear tape trick does the work and it's still alive, and I think that it will be alive for a long way to come. Now, ficus doesn't have the fastest growing rate as I've seen and experienced, but maybe that's a good thing, because if it doesn't grow really fast, that means that it will be able to live in here a lot longer. And that's great because I really love this pattern. It doesn't have any texture to it. The colors are simply stunning. I think that I'll start calling this the happiness plant, because this yellowy hue but bright color seems to me like happiness. If happiness was a plant, it would be this ficus. I swear. I mean, it's gorgeous, magnificent, stunning. This was the number 6, so let's see the number 7. For number 7, I'm actually not sure. I have 2 plants. First one is this Philodendron mannei. I've recently put it in this moss bowl. I have some nuts here, but at least I still don't see any new pests, because this here and up here the fuzzy petiole had the greatest battle of pests in 2023. It really made me think that I would lose them. I actually thought of throwing them in the bin because I couldn't see any progress. I've been spraying for spider mites. At least they didn't get mealybugs as well. The spider mites, though. I mean, it was like I attracted the whole world's spider mites. They were all over the plant. They were... I don't know. I've never seen that much amount of spider mites. And I've been spraying them. They looked good for an evening. The next morning, again spider mites. I didn't know what to do. I thought of cutting, of removing the leaves. I lost a lot of leaves. Like, I think that I've lost about 5 in this one. They all turned yellow. The new growth came chopped. It was awful. Look at this leaf. I thought that this would be okay. It's not. Because of all the spraying, I left them at the garden. I didn't want to risk all the other plants in here. I was really scared to take them back in. But, well, they wouldn't survive the weather and everything. I did a last spray and I actually did a kind of massage with neem oil. And I think that now we are good and we have new growth. And I am aiming on growing bigger leaves on them this year. That's the most pole. And I've actually placed them in this list because I think that in December they had the turning point. No more pests, new growth happening. And I think that they will win 2024. I'm dedicated to make it happen. They will win 2024. And I am going to regret if they do not. So this one is the number 7 and the fuzzy is number 2. Number 2, 7. They go hand in hand. These two plants, they were adopted together, growing together, and they will still be forever till the end. That I wish it will not happen. So the fuzzy is putting out new growth. That's great. And I think that it is time to introduce a moss ball for it. But the problem is that the way that it's growing, I have no idea what to do with it. At first, I had planted them in this type of pots here because they were showing kind of a growing pattern. And then, guess what? They decided that, well, I might be a climber after all. And now they need a moss ball. I have no way in the world to put a moss ball in the fuzzy. Now, this one is okay with it, I think. We have this kind of weird leaf here, but all the rest of the growth is kind of in place. The fuzzy is a whole another story. And the greatest thing is that the fuzzy had a baby. Yes, I'm a grandma. I've kind of pruned that baby because with the spider mites it lost some leaves. I've put the cutted piece in the aquarium to propagate it and it is stuck. Okay. New roots. This is the result. And we have a new leaf coming out plus these roots. I am really excited about this cutting. I'm not sure if I want to keep it in hydroponics or semi-hydroponics with bone or leca. But at first it wasn't showing any signs of root forming. I was really anxious because I am really sensitive with my philodendrons and scared. At the same time, I don't really love top plants that I might not be able to find again easily. I think that all of us have this in mind. If you can't find easily a plant, you are too afraid to propagate it. And I got this piece. I was super scared that it will rot. But after I raised the temperature, because at first I had the shrimps inside the aquarium, no fish, just the shrimps and the plants, and I had no heater. Then I thought that maybe if I put some fish, the tetras, and the heater, it would also benefit my propagations. Well, it does, because the heater raises the temperature, and now the little fuzzy in there feels like home. No, a tropic climate because of the warm water that it gets. Plus, if I have the filter running, right now I don't because of the video. When I have it running, it creates also a flow, so oxygen gets moved around and it's working. Great! Let's move on to number 8. But first, let me remove this lady from here. At first I thought that number 8 should actually be the Philodendron bilité, but decided against it. Now, the new number 8 is actually this fern, which has so much growth. Now, I'm a huge lover of ferns, you might actually already know. So, a fern, more than one fern, couldn't be missing from this video. This here is the type of fern that I first killed a lot of times because I was not that kind of consistent with my watering, and they all ended up dying. That was many years ago, before, I don't know, found the golden point of it, and now they are all alive. We have some dying leaves, might be because of the whole kind of setup here. I really want to change the setup of this plant. I want to make it kind of like the Silta pecana, a kind of false bottom, like a terrarium type. The first fern that I've ever been able to keep alive was the one that I've planted in a terrarium, and it lived for many years, and now it's outside at the garden because it kind of took over the whole terrarium. So this one will be planted alone without any other plants, but I think that it will grow like crazy. Now in 2024, the Eve, you can see it has a lot of new fronds growing, and I am obsessed with maidenhair ferns. And something that really aches my heart is that when we went for a kind of road trip to Livadia here in Greece, they had this kind of watermill, and I didn't see it at first. Actually, my sister told me about that. I didn't pay attention at all. Well, in this watermill below, it had like 100 ferns of this type, all alive, all green, because of the water flow. And there you are, in your own house, struggling to grow some ferns of this size, and there in the wild, where no one cares about these plants. They grow huge. Now, that's the sign to kind of combine the aquariums, the terrariums, and the plants. So I was thinking of kind of replicating this view that I saw in Livadia because I really think that it will look great. It will benefit the plant and my eyes and yours as well. And I don't know, I'm really excited. I can't contain the energy about this plan. It will look great. It will look great. The best would actually be if I could have the water flow. I have some ideas about that, but I should find a way to kind of make them reality. Let's move on to number 9, which I think that might be kind of surprising. You might not be waiting to hear about a plant like this. It's this thing here. Now come. Boga. Let me give her a treat. So this is what she'll be eating. Now that we have again some peace and quiet, now can you see this plant clearly? Because recently I've been kind of drawn into the bonsai art. And this here is a beautiful rosemary that I am growing to be a cascading bonsai. Now I know this needs a change of pot and I already have the pot. It will go in here. I guess that you can't imagine the result of the transplanting, but it will grow kind of like this. I really love the idea of the bonsai and the whole art and culture around it. It's a really nice practice, and if you do want to kind of start experimenting with creating them, the best plant that you can start with, I guess that it is the rosemary, because if you find a bush of rosemary and you cut the new growth, the growth that doesn't yet turn brown, create the kind of wooden stem base, you can propagate it like crazy. I even have some propagations in here in the aquarium with new roots. They grow like crazy. You can have unlimited tries. And if you don't have the pots, the bonsai pots, something, whatever, you can actually cut a normal pot, trim it, like remove this and do the root part. I'm not sure yet when I will do that. For now, I have it here attached to this kind of stand, you could say, and it's growing great. Look at this here. This wooden stem is what makes it look like a really big kind of tree. It looks stunning. Absolutely stunning. If you made it this far, I've got the best plant to end this video, because it was dead till the summer of 2023. I considered it dead. I've actually thrown it in the garden, never searched for it, till one day my mom asked me, Do you happen to have a verrucosum alive? I say, no, it's dead. Well, she told me it has leaves. It has leaves. This thing has also been battling with the spider mites and some kind of root rot. It lost all the leaves. Doesn't seem like it, does it? Well, this one here has new leaves. And I'm so afraid of losing it. Verrucosum should be my eternal love, kind of it, you could say. These leaves, I'm obsessed with the texture, with the velvety feel, with the colors, with the underside of it. It's stunning, but it is also, I find, the hardest plant in my collection. Verrucosum is a spider mite magnet. Thrips magnet. Forgot about that. It got thrips and then they went on the neon, the lime, the philodendron lime, and created a mess. Well, I guess that when it lost all the leaves, the spider mites got depressed, and that helped. Because all this new growth is great. And because as I've said, I'm really crazy about losing it, I'm actually air layering it, which means that I've put some sphagnum moss, moist, not wet, wrapped it around the new growth. This will remain here, but these two will be removed, and I'm still thinking about growing them in just moss with nutrients, or maybe in my aquarium. I'm still thinking about that. But well, that's the perfect plant to end this video. It had the greatest turning point in history. Look at this leaf. Look at that. It is stunning. It is stunning. We have a lot of growth. We have some leaves that have been, again, affected by the spider mites and the whole crew, but well, here is the air layering. I guess that we should expect great things to happen in 2024, and I wish that 2024 is not the best plant year just for me, but for you as well.